The NBA season is only 2 weeks old and already full of surprises. Here are some words you need to know about what's going on in the league, which teams to bet on, which players stand out, and why you shouldn't give up on certain teams now. The depth of Philly. Look, I'm on the 76ers hype train. I raised my voice that this was their best squad during the Joel Embiid era, who had so much potential to finish with the best record in the East. They have to sleepwalk for over 50 wins, as they have done in the last 3 82-game seasons. Also, getting a full year of James Harden should give them another boost in the regular season. Advertising. Anyone recognize these laudatory words about the Philadelphia 76ers? These are mine from a few weeks ago. While the Sixers' debut was uneven, I stand by what I've said before, mostly because I still believe in Philly's enhanced depth. James Harden's great start to the season and Joel Embiid's unexpected slowness made most of the headlines amid the Sixers' 0-3 record. But what got lost in the rhetoric was how much Philadelphia's new parts struggled through the doors to positively impact games. But as the Philly bench teamed up to score a pathetic 34 points in the first 3 games of the season, the slow start and everyone's favorite, "it's going to take time," seems to be starting to fade. As a result, the Sixers are back. D'Anthony Melton's rise in the game has been the easiest to spot. He's been consistent on both sides of the pitch, whether Joel Embiid has missed games with injuries, whether he's starting from the bench or a part-time start. Georges Niang's night-to-night value primarily depends on whether he shoots or not, and he's been very valuable lately. And while Montrezl Harrell doesn't look like a former 6th Man of the Year winner, he's done enough in his minutes. The encouraging thing about each player's contributions is that they all feel sustainable. And if the Sixers can make it, health is also on their side. Well, go ahead, reread the above quote. Progressing setter, Pascal Siakam. If you pull out year-over-year statistics for Siakam's 7 seasons as a pro, the first thing you'll probably notice is the huge jump in production from year 1 to year 7. Averages for points, rebounds and assists have climbed steadily in all but one of his 7 seasons. And this will be Siakam's best season before he gets his stats for this year. And if you're like me, what jumps right off the page is the transition. Advertising. It's hard for me to ignore those 7.4 assists per game and treat them as normal. Even from today's NBA forwards, it's not. Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Draymond Green, and Ben Simmons are the only forwards to average that many assists per game in a season in recent years. Many see all these players as elite quarterbacks. Of course, with just 7 games left in the season, Siakam has a way of breaking into the ranks of these outstanding quarterbacks. But even this exceptional 7-game passing example shows a lot of growth in how he approaches the game on the offensive side. Just open the movie and see how diverse Siakam's quarterback has become. Pascal Siakam with 13 assists and just 1 turnover tonight. The duo made it seem so simple by absorbing the team and then finding the obvious teammate. 8 assists/games on average at the start of this season. pic.twitter.com/ahepiyarb. William Liu, October 27, 2022. The easy ones for Siakam are the assists that came during the transition period, when he and the Toronto Raptors were top of the league. Passes that really show his improvement appear in the half-court offense every night. By design, or as a result of not being able to bounce a defender, Siakam often uses the post-up to get the defense's attention before finding a clear teammate. He also constantly taps the paint on his dribbling drive and sprays it on open marksmen camped out behind the line. There's even some pick-and-roll passing on display that turns Pascal into a strong playmaker. Pascal Siakam's quarterback is definitely something we've seen over the years, but it now seems more like a mainstay than a luxury. Bet on the Bucks, Trailblazers and Warriors. Golden State overtimes. Here's some advice. If you're looking for some NBA betting to play, take a look at what's on in the Bay Area, where all games have ended except for one of the reigning champions' Golden State Warriors games. You're right in assuming that the Stephen Curry-led offense has a lot to do with their high-scoring totals. Golden State's 118.7 points per game are the most matched by the Phoenix Suns in the NBA. But Dub's defense is responsible for all these excesses. They're not the worst defense in the league, but they're giving their opponents more points per game than any other team this season. As Steve Kerr said recently, some of the Warriors' outlets appear to be pickup games. Milwaukee covers. A season ago, the Milwaukee Bucks set a losing record against the spread. As a result, it didn't affect their wins and losses much, but they often found themselves in games that were closer than they should have been. Now, 2 weeks into this season, the 2020-21 World Champions are the NBA's only undefeated team, and one of 4 teams with a 5-1 record against the spread. With the strength of another ridiculous season of Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the best defense in the NBA, the Bucks are proving to be reliable in the current wildly unpredictable NBA. They do this without arguably their second-best player, Chris Middleton. Best records against spread in the NBA. Entering November 1st. Portland covers. Portland was also bad against the spread in the 2021-22 season. As a matter of fact, they were the worst, and much of it no doubt had to do with their multiple injuries, and then the decision to bet on the season on an All-Star break. But the past is in the past. Right now, Portland has put together a good roster that was jam-packed early in the season. The Blazers' record of 5-1 matches their record against the spread for a variety of reasons. 1. Damian Lillard makes an MVP-caliber start to the season. 2. Anthony Simons proves the 2021-22 season isn't a fluke. And 3. Chauncey Billups tonight he managed to squeeze every last drop out of every player that was part of his rotation. Advertising. If the Blazers can keep rolling with Lillard on the side with a taut right calf, it might be worth the money.